Eva Agi, investment advisor at Gerber Kawasaki. Really great to have you on this morning. Let's start with rocket companies soaring yesterday, perhaps a potential target of Wall Street bets. So when do you think that this Reddit-led mania will stop? And do you think traditional investors feel threatened perhaps by this form of trading, or just maybe switching some of their strategies?
So what we're looking at right now with Redditors moving companies in the market more so than they deserve to be, maybe, it's a question of inequality. And overall, I see this trend continuing long term. It's not something I'm worried about because the market does find a balance of supply and demand. But it's really interesting to see some of these companies surge like this.
If you were a retail investor at this point, any advice, for people who've maybe only been involved with markets since perhaps the start of the pandemic, any advice? Should you be following kind of the Redditors? Should you be diversifying your portfolio? What do you think?
So I tell this to prospects all the time. What we want to do is focus on high quality companies, not really the trend of what we're seeing on Reddit. And a lot of that is due to the fact that these are short-term gains, and when everyone's talking about something, it might not be the best place to make money. So I'd focus on a diversified portfolio with strong companies with strong earnings.
Let's talk a little bit about the economy right now. We're waiting for private sector payroll jobs numbers coming in about 45 minutes from now. The February jobs report is coming on Friday. Any expectations? Do you expect that as the vaccine started to roll out, perhaps economic activity picked up?
I do. I think that if the vaccine has taught us anything, it's that it works, and we're getting to the end of COVID with this. So we're seeing jobs start to pick up. Activity is starting to pick up. Overall, we're really optimistic for the second quarter, second half of the year as well.
What is the timeline that Wall Street is thinking about right now? And we know that President Biden just upped the timeline in terms of vaccination, saying that all Americans should be able to get a vaccine by the end of May. Does Wall Street take their cues from that? When are you thinking there's going to be some semblance of normalcy?
We're looking 6 to 9 months in the future in terms of returning to a full recovery, but it's going to take time. So things like the travel sector will take more time than that to recover. But when we're looking at basic economic activity, that's going to be up in the next 6 months for sure.
Given that, how do you play the stay-at-home stocks like the Peloton or the Zoom and these stocks that we just saw go sky high because everybody was staying home because of the pandemic?
So now it's not really a question of what's a good stay-at-home play, it's what's a good reopening play. So there are multiple plays here. We're looking at travel, we're looking at cannabis stocks, and also Disney as well.
Cannabis, why is that a reopening stock?
So not necessarily reopening, but maybe a Biden administration has already expressed a lot of interest in legalization, deregulation of cannabis. And this is going to overall raise a lot of state tax revenue. So we see that as the Biden administration takes hold, they're going to push states in the direction of legalization, and economic momentum as well will follow suit.
I was just going to say, do you know something we don't about marijuana bars or something? That's where my head was going. Oscar Health, a big IPO going public today. Do you think this is still a good time to go public? We've seen these companies just do extraordinarily well, at least initially.
So there's a lot of frenzy in the IPO market specifically. And in terms of raising money, I'm sure that they can do a significant amount there. However, investors need to be aware of IPOs in terms of actually looking at a company's financials before purchasing them, not just purchasing a company because it goes public. I do think that Oscar has managed to change the insurance space and give individuals a lot more equality in that. So I'm optimistic to see what they bring out.
All right. Eva Agi, investment advisor at Gerber Kawasaki. It is 4:30 in LA, so thank you so much for getting up early with us. We appreciate it.